My name is Daniel Córdova Espinoza, and I am the Director of the Investment Promotion Division at Peru. The topic that we are going to present today is Peru as a destination of foreign direct investments. As you can see in the following slides, first I'm going to talk a bit more about our team, the Investment Promotion Division, how are we organized, and how can we help you effectively to drive your investments into our country. What do we take care of? We take care of as I mentioned, the promotion, attraction, retention, and the expansion of foreign direct investments into the several sectors in Peru that we prioritize and are mainly focused on tourism and several manufacturing lines and production activities. In contrast with Proinversión, which is the other investment promotion agency in Peru, Proinversión takes care mainly of investment, promoting investment into infrastructure projects and also utilities projects. In our case, in contrast, in Peru, as I mentioned, we focused on attracting foreign direct investment into the tourism sector and into several manufacturing and productive activities such as food and services, also the agri-business industry, high-tech industry, and also several manufacturing lines. As we can see in the third slide of this presentation, our team is composed of three sub-teams or three sub-directions. The first one is investment perspective, which takes care of analyzing and doing an in-depth research of these several industries and sectors where we want to provide information for you, our dear potential investors, so that you can have the whole complete array of information that we can research on Peru and provide to you so that you can make the best investment decision based on the most complete set of information. Our second team is the team of portfolio management, which takes care basically of surveying the country, the entire 25 regions in Peru, in search for investment projects from the private sector, which we can then evaluate them and make sure that they have all their complete information, so that then in the activities aimed at promoting investments, such as seminars, business forums, and roundtables and roadshows that we engage in Peru and in foreign countries, we can present to you this wide array of investment projects from the private sector across several industries in Peru, so that you can have not only the sectoral information and macroeconomic information of Peru, but also concrete information of particular investment projects from selected companies in Peru that want to engage with foreign investors. And then the third team is our team of promotion. Basically, this team takes care of all the preparation of the activities and events that I mentioned that we do all across the year. For instance, the business forums, the roundtables, the business missions, and also the forums and conferences that we organize in Peru and abroad through our network of more than 30 offices that Peru has across several markets in the world. Why invest in Peru? I'm going to try to answer these questions with you, and basically the answer turns around three main pillars that Peru has to promote foreign investment into our country. We want to present Peru as a country that is a resilient country, a country that that facilitates also the most suitable conditions for foreign investment, and also a diverse country in terms of ecosystems, in terms of natural resources, in terms of cultures, and other attributes that made the wider range of investments possible into our country. To start with Peru as a resilient country, our economy has a very outstanding track record of around 30 years of macroeconomic relatively good performance, or actually I would say a great performance both on the fiscal front and monetary front. Peru is one of the countries which across the last 3 decades has had one of the lowest inflation rates in the region, one of the most stable GDP growth paths also in the region, in Latin America, and also the country that has, I would say, one of the best credit ratings in the region, awarded by the 3 most recognized credit agencies in the world, credit rating agencies in the world. And also Peru has an outstanding track record of fiscal discipline, which has made that the ratio of public debt to GDP is to become one of the lowest in the region for many consecutive years. So we have the fiscal advantages and the monetary resilience as well, based on the independence of the central bank and also the consistency of our monetary policy, to present to international investors an environment of macroeconomic stability that has endured several crises, of course, both domestic and foreign crises, and has been able to deliver a country that is very, very predictable from a macroeconomic standpoint. Also, something very important to take notice has been the track record of attraction of foreign direct investment flows into Peru. For the past 15 years on average, Peru has attracted between $5 and $7 billion in foreign direct investment flows every year. That was until 2019, of course, when the pandemic hit this flow. And then we had a period where foreign direct investment halted to a good extent and decreased significantly. However, the path has been able to be resumed. So last year, foreign direct investment flows again reached numbers between $6 and $7 billion. And the central bank is forecasting that this path or this amount of foreign direct investment on an annual basis is going to be sustained in the following years. So this is a signal that foreign investors have, again, passing the worst parts of the pandemic, have been able again to re-engage with Peru, re-engage with what the country has to offer, and to continue traveling to Peru now on a greater frequency to visit our country and to explore themselves all the opportunities that Peru has to offer. That's regarding foreign direct investment flows, its path in the last years. So now going to the second pillar of Peru as a country that is a proper destination for foreign direct investment is Peru as a facilitating country, a country that facilitates an environment for foreign direct investment and that tries to provide a great business climate. To this extent, it's important to mention that Peru has a set of 22 free trade agreements. So Peru, through these agreements, demonstrates that it is a country very open to the world, very open to the entire economy, and that it's focused. And this doesn't depend on the government, which is in turn to direct the country. Our country continues to be engaged, and it's something very important that endures administration after administration. Peru is very aware that we have to be integrated to the world. And this level of integration is expressed in these 22 free trade agreements, which allows Peru to be engaged at the deepest level of economic and commercial integration, with around 82% of the world GDP, with around more than 40% of the world population, and this number of free trade agreements comprises more than 90% of our entire exports. Also, besides these free trade agreements, Peru has signed 28 bilateral investment treaties with other countries and blocks of countries, and 9 agreements to avoid double taxation. On another level, on a more geographical level, Peru has a strategic location, becoming the gateway to the Pacific Basin, since it's located in the center of South America, facing the entire Pacific Rim. So that allows Peru to and its infrastructure to be very effective in terms of reaching other countries. Precisely, Peru has a deep commitment to strengthen its network of infrastructure. To this extent, we have 8 port terminals in various regions that allow the exchange of products nationally and internationally. Also, we have 5 international airports located in key cities across the country, and the National Infrastructure Project for Competitiveness comprises 52 large and very significant investment projects, mostly for the building of highways, ports, and other airports, and also connectivity and communication infrastructure that will make the country more competitive, even more competitive in the coming years. Finally, we have the National Competitiveness and Productivity Plan, which is a 10-year plan from 2020 to 2030, whose primary objective is to provide the country with quality economic and social infrastructure. All these elements, we think, that will keep making Peru an even more competitive country for your investments. Also, as part of the second pillar which is Peru as a facilitating country for investments, it's important to mention that Peru is outstanding in several soft landing variables across the region, or, in other words, compared to other countries in the region. For instance, Peru ranks first in terms of flexibility to register a business property, second in terms of the flexibility also for the salary determination in the country, third in terms of the costs of setting up a business in Peru, and fourth in the number of total procedures needed to register a company. So these are indicators that showcase that Peru is very focused on making simplification of all administrative procedures easier for foreign investors. And the third pillar is Peru as a diverse country. Peru has a wider range of several diverse ecosystems, cultures, also natural resources, species that overall make Peru one of the 10 most diverse countries in the region, with an outstanding ecological diversity, and also in terms of forest area. Peru ranks second in Latin America and fourth worldwide in the number of, or in the size of tropical and forest areas. To this extent, Peru offers investors, through this wider range of diverse resources, a vast set of potential economic activities and industries and products and services that can be developed and can be adequately exploited by foreign and domestic investors working together to propel several industries and to create a wider range of products to be offered and exported to the entire world. Now, going into a deeper detail of our main economic sectors, why invest in Peru? I would like to introduce quickly some of the comparative advantages for investments in key industries, such as tourism, for example. Why invest in tourism in Peru? Well, Peru is a country of great diversity, as I mentioned, in terms of climates, geographies, cultures, and natural resources. And it's an ideal destination, therefore, for ecological, adventure, historical, wellness, and gastronomic tourism, suitable also for safe trips. There are across Peru around 65 or more than 65 tourist destinations in several regions that have the WTTC Safe Travel seal. In terms of specific segments of tourism, the thermal and tourism wellness tourism in Latin America, the international wellness tourist spends around 53% more than the average tourism. So Peru has ideal conditions for these segments, with nearly 500 thermal springs in the country, being ideal destinations or ideal locations for making investments. Also, the tourism of meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Peru has been a leader until 2019. The pandemic also caused a negative effect on this, but now we are again seeing that many of these business meetings and conferences are taking care progressively again in Peru. So this is a segment also that will rebound in the post-pandemic period. There is also an important incentive, a tax incentive for investing in Peru in the tourism sector in terms of infrastructure, for instance, which is the special regime for early recovery of the sales tax. Since the beginning of this incentive, around $605 million have been committed in investments in the hotel segment under this mechanism. Also, the tourism sector has been very well recognized in Peru, earning several awards across recent years. For instance, the World Travel Awards. Peru has earned the world's leading culinary destination last year, also the world's leading cultural destination for 2021, and the world's leading tourist attraction, which was Machu Picchu, also last year. And all these factors have made that Peru is one of the preferred destinations for foreign direct investment into this very important sector, which is tourism. And finally, regarding tourism, there are many attractions and routes that could be exploited in Peru, such as thermalism, such as marine wildlife watching, such as trekking, the North Bird watching, or the Pisco route, which are very important opportunities where foreign investors could come and explore and see all the natural advantages for Peru that Peru has to offer to develop tourism activities. In textile, another industry, it's also an attractive destination for foreign direct investment because there is a vertical cluster in the textile industry in Peru, from the supply of raw materials such as alpaca or cotton fibers, for example, to the clothing industry, facilitating the establishment of foreign investment in different stages of the value chain. And also it's very important, this industry in Peru, because there are high quality fibers and a strong global demand for these quality fibers that exist in Peru. And Peru is standing out currently with the main inputs in terms of fibers in Latin America, as our country has the largest number of population of alpacas, sheep, and also vicuñas, and also it's the second largest country in terms of llamas populations. Why invest in food industries in Peru? This is a third sector which I want to talk about briefly. Peru is a mega diverse country. Its soils and climates are suitable for different crops with excellent conditions for the export of high-quality fresh fruits, and is one of the most biologically diverse countries. The Peruvian coastline is more than 3,000 kilometers long and 200 nautical miles long as well, with access to more than 1,000 species of fish with potential for direct human consumption. Also, it's an industry in Peru. The food and fishery industry in Peru is very competitive in terms of costs in basic services. To this extent, Peru ranks second in terms of electricity and water costs among the largest economies in Latin America. A third industry which I want to talk about is the high technology industry. Peru is also an attractive destination for foreign direct investment that want to invest in the entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem in Peru, because there is several segments of entrepreneurs that have been flourishing, and the number of companies in this segment has been increasing a lot, with companies and startups dedicated to provide services, high quality services and innovative solutions to the education sector, the healthcare sector, the mining sector, many other manufacturing and logistical activities in Peru, and also to creative industries. So there is a wider range of sectors and industries in Peru that are needing these innovative solutions, which are being increasingly provided by high-tech startups. And these startups, this ecosystem, is being very active in terms of attracting foreign investors, which represents an outstanding opportunity that many countries and many investors from continents such as Europe, Latin America, and in the US have been eager to explore. Also, to complement the attractiveness of the high technology ecosystem in Peru, companies based in Peru currently in this sector highlight the capacity and training of human capital that Peru has in this sector, provided by a variety of educational institutions at all levels. Also, in terms of competitiveness of the labor force in Peru, for the implementation, as an example, for the implementation of a research and development center in computing, Peru is positioned in second place in the region in terms of competitiveness of labor costs. And also, Peru is the fifth largest Latin American country with the highest demand for professionals in information and communication technologies. All this is another show of how Peru is ready to offer foreign direct investors with several attributes such as the preparedness of our labor force, proper conditions, tax incentives as well, and also the flourishing ecosystem of companies in Peru that foreign investors can grasp and can take advantage of. Finally, in terms of the high-tech ecosystem and industries that are dedicated to technology industries, the environment for data centers construction in Peru is very, very advantageous, with many companies, many foreign companies interested in investing and exploring opportunities in this sector. I will do a quick mention to special economic zones in Peru. Currently, we have 4 special economic zones in Peru, which are located, one of them in the north part of Peru, in the region of Piura, and 3 of them located in the south part of Peru, in the regions of Arequipa, Moquegua, and Tacna. These special economic zones are currently holding several industries that can be housed here, such as logistics, agro-industry, assembly lines, repair and air conditioning, telecommunications, information technology, and these areas grant special tax and customs benefit to the companies that want to install themselves there, that want to establish here. such as, for example, the exemption from income tax, the value-added tax, exemption of some other municipal taxes, local taxes. Also, in the importation of goods, machinery, and equipment from abroad, these taxes are suspended for companies that are established in these areas. There is an unlimited permanence of goods within these special economic zones, and also the transfer requests to enter the economic zone are very simple also. So administrative simplification also is another attribute that is considered to these companies established in the special economic zones that Peru has. It's another opportunity for foreign direct investment to establish in the country and take advantage of these tax benefits and customs benefits. Regarding tax benefits, there is one important incentive that I mentioned before, but I would like to stress its importance and its relevance, which is the special scheme for advanced recovery of the value-added tax, which is a benefit that essentially provides liquidity to the owner of an investment project through the return of the value-added tax that it has paid for the acquisitions and on imports of goods, services, and construction contracts carried out during the pre-operational stage of the project. So in other words, this tax benefit provides liquidity to the project. The project, when it's engaging in this pre-operational stage, invests, of course, in machinery, in construction of its project, but then the value-added tax that the project has to pay during this stage is in the end returned from the government to the company, to the foreign company that is doing this project. So it's a cash infusion, a cash flow that can be used effectively by the foreign company which is building this project. This has been very important, for instance, as I mentioned before, in the hotel segment. There has been a total amount of more than $600 million invested into the hotel segment in Peru that have taken advantage of this tax incentive. And overall, it's important to mention that almost $50 billion of foreign direct investment into the country across several industries have taken advantage of this tax incentive. So I invite all of you, my dear foreign investors, to seek for help or assistance from our team in order to get to know more about this tax incentive. Finally, I would like to mention that Peru is promoting a portfolio of investment projects that comes from the private sector across several industries such as tourism, manufacturing activities, the textile industry, the high-tech ecosystem that I mentioned, also other potential industries that are very important for Peru, such as forestry, real estate, renewable energies, healthcare, and also food industries and fishing. We have an array of around more than 70 projects that come from the private sector, 7 investment projects proposed by private companies in Peru that are actively seeking right now to participate with foreign investors that are interested into these specific projects that are taking place or that could take place across the entire country. So as you can see in this, which is one of the last slides of this presentation, these projects are distributed along Peru, and we encourage you to get in contact with us if you want to know a bit more about one of these projects. Finally, I present you in this last slide the timeline of the investment promotion events of this year. We have had a lot of activity both in Peru, in Lima, in some regions in our country, but also abroad, where we have been able to deliver many of the investment opportunities that Peru has to specific groups of foreign direct investors and also to governments and institutions willing to engage in taking advantage precisely of all the benefits and the characteristics that many of these industries have in Peru and how welcome the foreign direct investment can be in Peru. We have still 4 months to go before the end of the year, and we have several activities and events that we are planning to do, and we encourage all of you to get in touch with our team so that you can receive all the information about specific industries in Peru, specific activities, events, contacts, to help you with all the information that you need to evaluate Peru as your next destination of your investment. Thank you very much.